Fact, we will never enjoy true success until we learn to see the big picture. Hey, I'm Steve Diggs. This is The Big Picture. Welcome aboard. Now, let's go to the homepage. Today, I want to talk with you about how to deal with the money. More specifically, I want to show you 5 ways to beat the debt monster. Number 1, top of the list, is to understand that virtually all Americans struggle with money at one time or another. One study indicates that at least 70% of us are struggling with our money right here, right now. Here's the good news. You're not isolated. You're not all alone. You're with about 75% of all the people in our culture if you're dealing with money. That's the good news. You're not the only person out here hurting with this problem. Second thing I would suggest is this. You need to understand that if you have a lot of debt, you are not hopeless necessarily. If you have decent health and if you have normal intelligence, the odds are very high that you can get completely out of short-term debt, that's everything but our houses, usually in about 1 to 7 years. You can usually deal with these problems. Let me give you a little plan that will maybe help going forward. If you are struggling with a lot of debts, here's what you need to do. You need to go and grab all of those ugly debts out of your debt closet. Here's what I've learned. People that are struggling with a lot of money problems have an imaginary debt closet where they put all those things away so they don't have to think about it. Today, we're going to pull all of that stuff out. All 6 of the car loans, or credit cards. You don't have that many cars, I trust, but 6 of the credit cards, maybe 2 or 3 car loans, the school bills, the furniture bills, all of that junk that's keeping you up late at night. Now what we're going to do is this. We're going to make a minimum payment on every single one of those, except for one. And on that one, we're going to go after that rough, tough, no fluff. We're going to murder that debt. We're going to do all the hard things we have to do. And by the way, Dave Ramsey says that we need to go after the one that we owe the least on. Probably pretty good advice. Other people say, no, go after the one with the highest interest rate. Well, do that if you want. Listen, I don't care which one you go after. Just go after the one that is making your life the most miserable. Kill that sucker dead. Rough, tough, no fluff. We're going to sell, we're going to cut, we're going to work, we're going to go after that thing. The very minute that number 1 is gone, then we take the money from number 1, we go after number 2. And with that one gone, we go after number 3 with the money from 1 and 2, and on it goes. Again, I think Dave Ramsey calls that snowballing. Susie Orman, she calls it rolling down. Clark Howard, he calls this thing laddering. Personally, I just call it getting a financial life. But if you do this correctly, it can change things in one hot hurry. Third thing to understand if you're dealing with money problems is this. You are not dumb. Listen, it's interesting to me over these years when I've talked with people that were struggling with their money, how often in the middle of the conversation they would look at me and they'd say, Steve, I can't believe how stupid I am. Listen, here's the good news. Being in debt and being dumb are 2 broadly different things. Here's the fact. You can be very much in debt and not dumb at all. And I guess the converse is true also. You can be very dumb and not in debt at all. But being dumb, being in debt are not the same thing. And here's a 4th idea that maybe sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but I don't think it is. If you really want to get the money stuff right, refocus your priorities. Here's what I mean. Learn to be a generous person, a person who gives away to others. Here's what one study indicates. It shows that money-minded people, in many cases, are the meanest people in our cultures. These are the people who give the very less to others that need their help. These are the people who volunteer the least amount of their time. And these are also the people who spent the least amount of time with other folks building relationships. If you want to get over money, stop loving it. Learn to love people and use money to help them. And number 5, avoid greed. You know, we need to be aware of all these get-rich-quick schemes that are out there. Everywhere you turn, whether it's late-night TV, the books in the stores, everywhere you turn, there are plans on how to get rich quick. Here's a thought. Why don't we think about maybe learning to get rich slowly? In other words, why don't we spend a lifetime just simply doing the right things so as we go into the later years, we will be prepared to continue to enjoy life financially. Hey, here's the deal. You need to remember that anytime you see some free cheese out there, more likely than not, that cheese is going to be in a mousetrap. Don't go for those get-rich-quick schemes. I'm Steve Diggs. This has been The Big Picture. I'm going to catch you next time. Bye-bye.